Start with feet hip-width apart, finding the front creases of your hips by lifting your knees. That's where the hip creases are. That's where the hinge will come from. As you hinge forward, keep the chin up and the chest up, hinging right at the hip creases. The thighs and the butt will move back behind you. Now, as you bend forward, as you rise up, press through the heels so you use your leg muscles by pressing down from the heels into the earth. Now step wide, doing the same action of the hip hinge. This time your fingertips may touch the floor. Keep moving the groins way back behind you as you fold, and as you rise up, make sure to push down through your feet. Think about rooting down through your feet and allowing the chest to float up without any stress. Now take 1 foot forward and 1 foot back, hinging halfway forward with a flat back. This is known as pyramid pose. The back foot is set at 45-degree angle. As you hinge forward, keep the chin and the chest up and make sure to really press down in your front foot under the big toe. That's going to be a good anchoring point for you to use your leg muscles and your hip muscles to rise back up. No stress in the low back. Changing positions now. Step your feet apart and bend your knees slightly. Then hinging at the hips, touch the floor or towards the floor. If your hamstrings are still too tight to get down to the floor, just bend the knees. The key is, as you hinge, to push the butt back or imagine taking the groins or the inner thighs back behind you. Make sure to keep the chin up. Now step your feet wide apart, more like a football position. Bend your knees slightly, touch the floor with one hand and then the other, then hands back to the thigh and rise up to stand. Continue to bend the knees, touch forward, keeping the back flat and the chin up. You will now, with the knees slightly bent, really feel your hip muscles, your glute muscles working. Changing position, step 1 foot if you were on a yoga mat, 1 foot to the right side of the mat, and the back foot back into the left side of the mat. This is called diagonal starting block. Bend the knees just slightly and then touch down right in between the legs. So the feet are staggered greater than hip width apart. It's a great way to get to the floor by using the hip hinge and a knee bend action. Now come to your knees. As you hinge on the knees, the butt will hover back towards the heels. Make sure to keep your chin up and reach forward in space. You'll really feel your glutes kicking in here, especially if you can push your knees down and even wide from each other. Play with taking the hands side to side.